we are.
There we go. All right,
Thank you.
perfect. All right. Sorry, we'll go over the first agenda here. We meet today on settled indigenous land, which is traditional territories of the Chinookan peoples of the Wasco, Wishram, Warm Springs, and Grand Ronde tribes. Let us honor this land as traditional native stewards, past, present, and future, and strive today to embody a commitment to cultural equity and reconciliation, ecological conservation, and sustainability. I hereby call the meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. Tia, can you do roll call, please?
Yes, Greg, Chair.
Here.
Megan Ramey, Vice Chair. Tamara, Secretary. Megan Larrabee.
Here.
Elazar.
Here.
Gisela. And Matt.
Here.
All right. Thank you very much, Tia. Do we have any public in the room or online?
We do not.
Okay, not seeing any. I'll skip agenda item number 3. So we're here to start the budget hearing for FY 25-26. Amy, please go ahead.
All right, well, thank you. So in your packet, I did include a memo, like Tia and I included a memo. Tia, would you like to give a brief overview? Absolutely. So the budget committee met on May 28th, where they reviewed and ultimately approved the fiscal year 26 budget for recommendation to the board for approval. After that meeting, staff did identify a few areas that we recognized needed updated. One of those is a loan that will be required to purchase electric vehicles as part of the 2023 Loan-O grant program. The estimated expenses related to that loan were not reflected on line 58 of the LB20, creating a discrepancy between the expenses and the purchase of those vehicles. So that adjustment was made. Additionally, the district was informed that we were not funded, or excuse me, I can't follow this. The district was not awarded the funding through the Washington Consolidated Grant Program. This is the grant that supports the seasonal summer weekend white salmon service and the seasonal Dog Mountain shuttle service. As a result, the state assistance for those services on line 9 of the LB20 were removed. However, Amy has been working hard with local partners and had received pledges to support the Dog Mountain shuttle. So the anticipated funding for that has been added to the contract revenue of the LB20 on line 7. And then just to add to that too, we did keep a little bit in the contract revenue for potential other sources of revenue for the white salmon service as well, because there's a couple things that are shaking out related to that. And I'll update everyone during the regular board meeting portion. So the areas that were updated on the LB20, just to sum that up for you guys, was there's increased debt services by $65,818 to line 58 of the LB20. And then that would cause a decrease in the contingency funds by $194,608 on line 59. And then we also saw a decrease in the state assistance by $153,785, and that again is on line 9. And an increase to the contract revenue by $25,000 on line 7. Okay, if the board is to approve these updates, there will be a decrease in the total available contingency funds by $194,603. Just to add some more information to that. So all of these have been reflected in the budget message and the LB20 that were included in your packet. The reason why there was such a reduction in contingency funds is we did not change the staffing levels because it's really pretty unclear as to how that is going to impact them, so I wanted to keep the operational personnel expense as is. Because ultimately those services, they really allow us to maintain a certain amount of employees. And without that, I'm not entirely sure quite yet how that is going to change things. So I did want to keep it in just so we were covered. Any questions?
Was there anything that we could have caught as a budget committee to flag these things, or was this just all kind of like through the pipeline after the last meeting?
So the debt service, potentially if you were a CPA,
Okay.
or work with this stuff all the time. And frankly, I thought it was in there. And when we were talking with Emily, I thought it was included, but it literally is just the cost of the loan. So it's what we pay the bank in fees and, interest. And I thought we had already kind of covered that, but we weren't. So, I don't think there's anything that could have done that unless we had somebody who's super familiar with that
Okay.
type of stuff. The other piece, with the White Salmon service and the Dog Mountain shuttle service, we learned about that a week and a half ago. And, we are just trying to figure out all the implications because of that loss.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, you're relying on state budgets being passed and all that stuff, so.
And that one, I'll talk a little bit more, but I think there is some potential advocacy that can be done with the Dog Mountain shuttle service. To ensure that that does happen, and maybe there might be some other ways to work with other organizations to ensure that that does happen. But if we do, it will probably be at the current service levels, not the expanded service levels that we were hoping to get. Any other
Amy-
questions?
Yeah, Amy, can you explain more of the electric vehicles and the funds there that kind of have a big impact there?
Yeah, so right now we have included the electric vehicles that were part of the 2023 no-low grant award. That was about a 6 million award. So the recommendation that was given to us was to include it, even though we do not yet have a contract signed. So we cannot move forward with that award. But the award has to be spent by September 2026. So
But right now, we don't have any prospects for electric buses that meet what we could
Correct.
use. Okay.
we don't have any prospects, and even if we did, the likelihood of us being able to execute the grant, send out an RFQ, purchase the vehicles, and receive them is slim to none.
Okay. Just wanted the board to hear that. I knew that, but I'm pretending like I knew that.
So are we, correct me if I'm wrong, are we having to take out a loan and pay debt service on a loan that we might not ever actually use?
So we are including it in the budget for best practice.
So we don't have to take it, it's not like we're taking out the loan now, we're just,
Nope.
it's spending authority there if we can actually.
If we need it, yeah. And that loan would specifically be to purchase those electric vehicles that were part of the 2023 low-no
Gotcha.
award. And without those vehicles, we would not need that loan. As of now. All right, any other questions?
Do we now just need a motion to adjourn the budget meeting? Is that where we're at?
Motion to adjourn the budget hearing, and then, you guys will actually take action, at the
Right.
regular board of directors.
Okay,
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
thank you, Macon.
A traffic stop.
I'll second.
25 items believed
Thank
to
you,
have-
Elzar.
A lot of those items.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of adjourning the budget hearing?
Then,
Aye.
Multnomah County District.
Any
Attorney-
opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. We're now adjourned. We now move into our regular
Oh, sorry,
meeting,
Greg.
correct?
We need to wait about 3 minutes since we did put it on our agenda.
At 4:15, okay.
And
Do
we
you want
will,
to, do you want to sing us a song or anything?
I can if you'd like me to. It'll be all about buses.
The wheels on the bus.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, Matt. I knew that was coming.
That's the only bus song I know, Greg.
That's the only one.
Yes, it's the only one.
All right, we'll wait 3 minutes.
Okay, great, thank you.
So I guess since we can.
I don't know. I think if you guys stop the recording, I can't hear anymore.
They just muted
Oh.
us. That's all they did.
Okay, okay. Well, that's fine. You can. I just didn't know if I
They're
lost.
talking
something.
bad about you leaving the board and trying to leave the meeting early. I think that's what I read their lips.
All
Yeah.
meeting.
Oh, man.
So.
How's it going at home with baby?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 months now, 4 months, 4. Okay.
All right, according to my watch, we are right at 4:15. We're gonna now move on to our regular meeting coming out of the budget discussion. I hereby call this meeting to order at 4:15. Tia, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Greg, Chair,
Here,
Megan Ramey, Vice Chair. Tamara, Secretary. Megan Larrabee,
Here.
Elazar,
Here.
Gisela. And Matt.
Here.
thank you, Tia. The board in your packet, you'll have the minutes from the May 21st, 25 meeting. Are there any changes any of the board members would like to make? Okay, not hearing any. Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes for May 21st.
Thank you, Matt. Do we have a second?
Police Department.
A second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. Minutes are approved. We didn't have any public in our last meeting. Amy, is that changed? Or we have any public here now?
It has not.
Okay, we'll skip to agenda item number 5, the monthly financial report. Tia, please go ahead.
Okay, in your packet was the financials for the month of May. Did anybody have any questions on the materials that were provided? All right. I wanted to give the board an update on the audit, fiscal year 25 audit that will be starting. We have a date scheduled for the auditors to be here. They're set to come on August 4th. They have been really ahead of the game and making contact and letting us know, you know, the system that they want to go with after meeting with us last year, you know, the first time. They seem to think that it should be a fairly smooth process, and Emily has shared that she's very confident in the audit process and that we have maintained pretty we're on a good path. So I'm very excited about that. Then also, I wanted to inform you guys, just with closing out the year and getting things done, prepared for that. Some process changes that have taken effect over the last year, and a lot of those are working with Emily and her in simplifying processes and improving our spreadsheets that we keep, like our grant tracking, our grant reimbursements. Those have improved significantly, making the submission times for the reimbursements. We're able to submit the grant reimbursements a lot sooner with that, so it's been a tremendous help. As well as our partner distribution spreadsheet for our Gorge Pass program with Mount Adams, Skamania, and the link. Emily was able to work with us and create a simplified, clear process that somebody could go to the spreadsheet at the end of the month and compare with their sales reports from the Square platform, and just tie them up very, very easily and keep their inventory. So it's been a huge help. And I just wanted to make sure the board was aware that those things have happened, and it's been a significant improvement. And Emily is amazing. Also working on the stiff tracker. Oh, yes, and the stiff tracker, that is, Emily's done such a great job with the programs that she's helped us with so far, that she is going to take a deep dive. She's started, we have a few changes that we had to throw her way, but she is going to simplify the stiff tracker for us. So it's just clear, clean, and easily digestible, which is very exciting. Do you have anything to add about that at all?
No, it's just the statewide transportation improvement fund monies, we have to spend specific dollars per different tasks or projects. And it gets very complicated very fast. So this will help us keep track better of, well, we already had a version of this and she is working on improving it, but it'll help us track little easier how much money we have left in each of these different projects. And the intent is to take that, as well as the CFA tracker, which tracks all of our grants. And the intent is to bring it to you all probably on a quarterly basis that shows in a digestible format how much we've spent on grants and what is remaining. So, yeah, that's it.
Any questions?
Just
All
glad
right.
you guys are excited about grant tracking software. That's great.
You know what? This is saving so much time. I love it.
Okay, that's all for agenda item 5. Okay, on to agenda item 6, which I believe is resolution and action items. Amy, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So the first one is the adoption of the budget and tax rate. Is there any questions that you all had in addition to the ones that we've already discussed about the budget? And the tax rate, which we have not recommended any change to our tax rate.
I don't accept how I'm gonna narrate through it, because don't I have to do it a specific way when we call for a vote?
Yes, we do have in the materials, and I believe we added it to the cheat sheet.
Okay,
There's a resolution that I need to ask you to read line by line.
okay,
And then we'll send it to you so you can sign it after reviewing deliberations have been made.
okay. I thought for some reason I had to read exact line items and numbers, but I don't see that in the cheat sheet, so I'll just read
Nope,
what's there.
just
Okay.
the resolution, and then there's the line items for administrative and operating and all that.
Okay. So no other discussions on the budget? Okay. Is there a motion to accept the FY 25-26 budget resolution and approval of the tax rate?
I make a motion to accept the budget approval and the tax budget resolution approval and the tax rate.
Thank you, Megan. Do we have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Matt. Any further discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. 6A is passed. We're on to 6B, which is the approval of the 5339 grant
Sorry.
application.
Sorry, you actually have to read the resolution.
Where is that? Is that on the
Should
cheat
be
sheet
at
or in the?
the end of your cheat sheet.
It's, yeah, it was an attachment with the cheat sheet.
Okay,
Sorry.
let me go down there. Let me see. Don't see that I have that. I knew there was something more I had to do.
I can share. Or it's also in your board meeting materials. It's right after the AR aging summary. So it should be page 33.
Okay, I'm on that. Do I have to say be it resolved, that whole bit?
Yeah, so resolution number starting
Okay.
that part, and then resolution adopting the budget. And be
Okay.
it resolved.
Okay, so resolution number 6-18-2025. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of Hood River County Transportation District hereby adopts the budget fiscal year for 2025-26 in the totals of $14,736,393. This budget is now on file at 224 Wasco Loop in Hood River, Oregon. Keep reading, I assume.
Please.
Be it resolved that the amounts of the fiscal year beginning July 20th, 2025, and for the purposes shown below are hereby appropriated. Organizational unit or program, administrative, $924,290, operating, $12,611,814. For debt service, $65,818, contingency, $294,471, total $360,289. Total appropriation, all funds, $13,896,393. Total unappropriated and reserve amounts, all funds, $840,000. The total adopted budget is $14,736,393. Be it resolved that the following ad valorem property taxes are hereby imposed for the tax year 25-26 upon the assessed value of taxable property within the district at a rate of 0.0723 per 1,000 of assessed value for permanent tax rate. Be it resolved that taxes imposed are hereby categorized for purposes of Article 6, or sorry, Article 11, 11B as permanent tax rate 0.723 per thousand. This resolution statements are hereby declared and adopted on this 18th day of June, 2025. Is that all I gotta do?
All you gotta do.
All right.
Done.
That was so smooth.
You read numbers like you've done it before, Greg. I gotta say, that was good. That was good.
No, just teasing, jumping into that. I knew I had to read the whole thing, but. All right. Sorry, I'm used to working like on two screens, which is awesome. And now you kind of go back and I feel at a disadvantage here. Now we're on to the approval of the 5339 grant applications. Amy, please go ahead.
Right. So the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA, recently released a funding notice for grants for buses and bus facilities, program 5339. This probably sounds familiar, but a lot of our grants right now come through this program. This program provides funding to states and transit agencies to replace, rehabilitate, and purchase buses and related equipment to construct bus-related facilities. The board will notice that the application is very similar to the scope of the 2023 5339 low or no emissions bus vehicle program grant award that the district was awarded, but the contract has not yet been signed. Thus, as you guys are aware, we have not moved forward. ODOT has recommended that staff include essential pieces of the 2023 grant in the 2025 submission due to the uncertainty revolving around the contract for the 2023 submission. So per our financial management policy, we're seeking approval to submit the below application. So this will be for the bus and bus facilities competitive program. It'll include the redevelopment of the current park and ride into a bus barn and maintenance facility. Did learn that and it'll also include electric chargers, interior renovation of the administrative facility, and 4 replacement vehicles. These are not electric. There will be 2 trolleys, and there will be a hybrid transit van, and then a regular gas cutaway as well. So the total cost is estimated at just over 3 million. The estimated grant allocation is $2,614,421. And the expected match is about 500,000 grant. And that can be done through STIF formula funds and local funds. This is a quick turnaround, and the grant application is due on June 23rd. All applications will be submitted to ODOT. They will then review it and then submit it to FTA on our behalf. The timeline for the grant work to be completed is between September 2025 and September 2028. This should not have an impact on the budget, as these items are already included. This will, to be specific about the redevelopment of the current park and ride into a bus barn, this will include the construction piece of it. If the 2023 grant goes through, that will include the design work that we need to do, and then this would be the actual construction. Because there's still so many unknowns about the big electric buses, I did not include them again on this grant. I just included the stuff that we really need to move forward with, and that is redevelopment of a bus barn and maintenance facility, the interior of the office for safety reasons, and trolley and replacement vehicles. Any questions? My ask is for the board to discuss and vote to approve or not us to submit this grant application.
Thanks
Can I
for
ask a
making that
question?
clear.
Are we hamstringing ourselves by not sort of moonshotting this and asking for funds for electric buses as well, in case there's some sort of breakthrough in supply chains or whatever's holding up the show?
Potentially, but I think we're also not quite. We need to do a significant amount of infrastructure in order to get those electric buses.
Okay.
And my concern is that if we included those electric buses, so we would not be able to move forward with these projects that we really need to move forward with.
Okay, so this allows us in theory to move forward with phase one, if you will. Buses can be next cycle, phase two sort of thing.
Yep, and I did include an electric charger in there so that we can include at least the preliminary infrastructure. So that we can charge electric vehicles. But then the idea is to also update our zero emissions plan so that we can maybe not in this grant, but in future grants, ask for the ability to potentially do other types of alternative fuel sources.
Okay, any other questions? Thanks for the thorough explanation.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to approve the grant application.
I make a motion to approve the grant application.
Thank you, Megan. Do we have a second? Okay, I'm gonna go with Elazar there. Any further
Thank you.
discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any contrary minded? Okay, chair votes aye. That passes. We're on to 6C, the approval of the MCED IGA. Amy, please go ahead.
Yes, so we released the request for proposals for the mobility management services on May 22nd, 2025. We received one proposal. After evaluating the proposal, we decided to move forward with the Mid-Columbia Economic Development District, who also provided mobility management services for CAT this past biennium through our travel trainer and mobility manager. Staff selected MCED because they have done a wonderful job and have all the qualifications needed. Again, per our financial management policy, I do need approval to enter the IGA with Mid-Columbia Economic Development District. I've updated the current IGA. I did include it in your board packet. Since the packet went out, I did receive some updates from our lawyer. They are all non-substantiative and they're minor language changes. The things that I want to make sure that the board is very aware of is that CAT will provide 50% of the travel trainer's fully loaded salary, 100% of travel for CAT purposes, and then 50% of conference expenses not covered by scholarships, and up to 15% of indirect costs that MCED incurs as they are the one that's actively managing the travel trainer. We will also provide $2,000 annually towards the match of the Gorge Trains Link Alliance program. And we agree to pay up to just under $60,000 for fiscal year 26, with an expected 5% increase year over year for the remainder of the agreement. And this is paid for through our 5310 grant funds, as well as some of our statewide transportation improvement funds.
And this is Sarah, correct?
This is Sarah, yes.
Yeah, she does a wonderful job.
She does. And ultimately, having this contract in place with MCED, it allows us to do a lot for less than if we in-housed that person.
Okay.
I make a motion
And
to, oh, sorry.
sorry, go ahead. Just the contract period is starting July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2030.
Okay, thank you. Megan's excited.
I'll make a motion to approve applying for that grant. The mobility grant. Oh,
The
Yeah,
IGA.
The IGA with the updated changes from our lawyer reflected.
okay. I make a motion to approve the updated, sorry, now I'm not looking at it. grant with the changes the lawyers made.
Yeah, the updated IGA with the changes by our lawyer.
Updated IGA with changes by the lawyer.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion on the IGA? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. Perfect. That's all the resolutions and action items. Now we're on to agenda item number 7, which is the operations manager report. Jeff, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Cool, overall safety score, we are at 98 and same as last month, we had another harsh event, which is why we are not at 100. Let's see, so moving on to fuel costs, were decreased by 0.17 cents per gallon. We had 1 vehicle incident, 9 customer incidents, and we'll review those in a second here. Formal complaints were none, vehicle incidents, none. Wait, there should be 1. There's 1. Does it, okay, that's not right. 6 of the customer incidents involved the same rider and followed a similar pattern of volatile interactions with CAT employees. The individual has been trespassed. We had an inebriated rider was talking very inappropriately to other riders and made a comment that he had a weapon. Police were called, rider was searched and escorted off the property. A rider submitted complaints using our internal incident report form. We will be relocating access to this form. Long term, we plan to develop a general comment form that riders can access instead. No vandalism. So the harsh event was while driving the Dog Mountain route, a driver 2 cars ahead suddenly turned right without signaling, forcing our driver to brake suddenly. And that was just reviewed via video and a coaching moment with the driver. New dispatch software that we have been implementing that for, the 26th was actually the official launch, but we actually started using it about a week early just to try to get used to it and practice. And overall, we're very pleased with how it is working in the office. We're booking rides way faster, and it's super intuitive. We should have actual on-time performance data for dial a ride next board meeting. The drivers are still getting used to it. There's some new features in it, like instead of doing one single rider at a time, it can actually group people together. And it also doesn't show the full manifest, and the drivers are used to being able to see their full day. It only shows, should show only 2 trips ahead of the time. So as all changed, there's an adjustment period, and we're and what's awesome is the spare company is really great with working with us if we're like, oh, it's too tight. The rides are too tight, we're getting overbooked. They have the ability to add more time, and basically anything we ask is our needs are being met. So we're really, really pleased with the not only the software, but the customer service we're receiving from Spare, which is a great change of pace. Employee of the month.
Also, new vehicle update.
Just that we're getting. Yeah, so we have two cutaways on the way. I think we talked about it in the last board meeting. One is gonna be CDL and one is non-CDL, as well as a transit. Another like our electric vehicle, but non-electric, it's gonna be gas, and those are, I've been communicating with Northwest Bus Sales, also pleased with their customer service. They're programming our reader boards and just getting the all their materials prepped as so that when they get the vehicle from the manufacturer, they're ready to go and send them our way. Cool. Employee of the month. Cool. Employee of the month is Tim Clemenson. Tim is the master of sweets, always bringing treats for everyone to enjoy. He has a great attitude and always willing to help out when he can. When you're around Tim, it's clear he enjoys being at CAT and genuinely values his coworkers. He's great at expressing his needs while keeping things lighthearted and thoughtful. And then ridership. the exciting part of this is that we're hit another record high at 11,135 riders. It's a lot of that came from Dog Mountain. We've done for the month of May, we did 4,564 for riders. I think the other thing to call out is that our dial ride is still, we're still seeing an increase in that. Slight decrease from last year for our Upper Valley, and I think a lot of those a lot of the Upper Valley riders are moving over to dial a ride because it gives them, now that we cover that area, it gives them more opportunity to more times of the day that they can use our service. Cool. I don't think I have anything else to really call out about the ridership, but that was stuff I thought that was interesting. Yeah. That concludes my operations report.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, we knew that would happen with dial a ride in the Upper Valley when we changed that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're on to agenda item number 8, which is the executive director report. Amy, please go ahead.
Great, thank you. So the first item I have is local route changes. My intent is to update the board on the status of the changes to the City of Hood River and the Upper Valley routes, which we are expected to implement the fall of 2025. I am not asking for any action on behalf of the board. As the board is aware, staff has been working on streamlining the Hood River City route and transitioning the Upper Valley deviated fixed route to a fixed route service. Since the last update, staff has been very busy, and we have met with the City of Hood River regarding bus stop additions and relocations. Based on feedback from the city and Megan, who is acting in her role as the Safe Routes to School coordinator, staff has made revisions and submitted them to the city. These changes will require us to update our Hood River City route schedule and allow us to better align with the Columbia Gorge Express. This change will mostly impact riders with mobility challenges who depend on the Hood River City route to get to and from Walmart or Safeway. Those riders will most likely need to use our dollar ride service moving forward. We are documenting who those riders will be and will assist them as we get closer to that time when we implement the change, so we can do some handholding. Additionally, staff has met with ODOT and Hood River County regarding the proposed new Upper Valley stops, which would complement the current ones that we already have. We have been given feedback and staff is working on creating the appropriate documentation that we will then submit to ODOT or the county, depending on who controls the applicable right of way for the proposed stops. The intent is for staff to move forward with transitioning the service to a fixed route service with the current stops and at least some of the new proposed stops. This is a long-term project. This is going to take us a long time to add all the appropriate stops in the Upper Valley, since the infrastructure is much less than what we see in the City of Hood River. So we are working with all of the different partners on those more long-term projects, and my intent is to work with Parks and Rec, Safe Routes to School program, the school district, and leverage all of our funding together on some of those bigger proposed stops. For example, the one near Windmaster. And we'll keep you guys updated on how many additional stops we think we'll be able to add before this change happens to a fixed route service. Posters have been added to vehicles regarding the changes, and drivers know how to handle all the questions. I am currently working on finalizing a feedback portal that we will post a QR code for on buses as well, and add to our website and assist people if they would like us to do in filling that out. That will help us gather more feedback on where people want to see bus stops in the Upper Valley. Additionally, we are compiling feedback that is given at community events, ride-alongs, and if people call in. The route will likely be made in September, potentially October, but all our rider communication states the fall of 2025 to kind of take into account that some of these are moving targets. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, so fiscal year 25-27 biennium grant contract update. Again, my intent here is to update the board on the status of the contracts for the upcoming biennium, and that will fund operations starting July 1st. Staff will be signing the statewide transportation improvement funds contract by the end of the week. This will also require your signature, Greg, so I'll send that to you via email. Staff has been keeping a close eye on House Bill 2025 in the state legislature and how it will impact the STIF funding that the district receives starting July 1st. As of June 11th, the framework of that bill includes a phased 0.2% increase over 5 years, in addition to the 1% that we already receive. And that goes through the employee payroll tax rate that supports transit through the statewide transportation improvement fund. And I'll keep you all updated on what happens with that. If passed, this will allow the district to maintain services and expand dial ride services, Upper Valley, and potential the Hood River City route. So if you ever come into contact with public who asks about those questions, that's what that bill will do for us. Additionally, at the federal level, there are a couple things that are happening. First, the reimbursement for the property purchase has not been reimbursed yet due to slow processing times on the FTA side. So I just want everybody aware we have not received that yet. Second, there is a 5310 reimbursement for mobility management and preventive maintenance that has not yet been reimbursed due to FTA changing their master agreement terms, which now do not comply with state laws. State of Oregon is actively working on this, and the district should have an update in the next couple of days. Staff is expecting this to also impact the execution of the 5311 contracts, which should be going into effect July 1st. This means that the district may need to cover operational expenses for the Hood River City, Upper Valley, and dial ride services with STIF funds until this is resolved. This may mean that we use our STIF funds faster than expected and may not have as much funds available for match for the remainder of the biennium. Staff will continue as planned until more information is known. Hovey, do you have any other up-to-date information that can be shared regarding that?
I think the information you shared was really clear. That is the current state at the moment. So I don't have anything with a date yet. But I do appreciate you sharing this with your board, and I'm here to assist and be a partner in finding all the right solutions.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Board members, do you have any questions?
I have a question. If the Oregon bill does not pass, will we still be able to maintain service as is?
My estimate, based on our current rate of inflation and expenses, is probably about 2 years before we're going to have to look at cutting services.
Okay. And if it does pass, then we'll have the ability to maintain services and expand services. Okay.
Maybe not a large amount, but we will be able to expand, especially for our vulnerable communities.
And we should have more clarity. We have till the end of the legislative session. So like 2 more weeks-ish. Okay.
And we did, so I did attend the hearing that happened last week. I was ready to give verbal testimony. Unfortunately, there was not enough time for me to do that. They did run out. They had about 20 people left who did not give testimony. I did submit written testimony. I also submitted written testimony on behalf of Greg and the city of Hood River. And I know several employees submitted testimony as well, and some writers too. Yes. Any other questions?
This change in language where they're no longer compatible, that is in theory an easy fix, or is that potential to be a real problem?
My understanding is there is a current lawsuit that is happening in real time.
A
So-
lawsuit, like a Oregon state lawsuit?
Yes.
Who's being, who are the parties?
The state of Oregon and I believe 20 other states. Hobie,
They're suing the federal government though?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
thinking it's a total of 20 states.
and there is some news articles, I can send some out. That's what we need, so there's more information on that. Okay. Any other questions on that? Unfortunately, I'm not done with my sad news. Last, as I already kind of mentioned, not last week, but the Friday before, I was notified that WashDOT did not award our grants for the service, the weekend white salmon service or Dog Mountain service for the next biennium. So we're good until June 30th. After July 1st, there is no funding. That's with a caveat. The Dog Mountain funding, we have been consistently receiving money from the city of Stevenson and Skamania County, and the Forest Service. However, going forward, I'm not sure how much that can necessarily be relied on due to their limited resources. So that is something that I am working on some advocacy, and I am pursuing that to ensure that the state of Washington is aware of what may happen without that service and the safety concerns that exist. I also have lots of, as you all know, lots of equity concerns with not having a service between Hood River and White Salmon on the weekends. And also do what I can to find funding to potentially at least continue that on summer weekends. So again, my intent there is just to inform you all, there's no action for you to take, just kind of where we are. And for the white salmon service, I do have funding for service through June 30th. So that means 2 weekends. So we made the decision to continue operating that service starting Saturday and going until I think it's June 29th. And then we are working with the cities of White Salmon and Bingen and WashDOT to see if we can fund the service this summer. I know this is going to be funky for riders, but ultimately we wanted to operate when we can with the available funding. And worst case scenario, we don't get any funding starting July 1st. At least we've provided rides for people where otherwise they would not have rides for 2 weekends. And we have the staffing able to do it. Any questions? Okay. Union negotiations update. So my intent is to spread an update of where we are with union negotiations. Fortunately, there's not much of an update. We have met with the union several times and we have not been able to come to an agreement as of yet. The next negotiation meeting is July 1st. The impact of that is the current collective bargaining agreement ends June 30th. But since a new agreement is not yet in place, the current agreement remains into effect. So the employees in the past have received a 2.5% increase every July 1st, and that will be the same case for this year. And then once we have our next meeting, then we will go from there. Any questions on that?
Are there any notable sticking points?
The financial package.
Right, no, I gathered that, I mean, just,
Yeah.
it's the whole package. Okay.
Okay. And the last piece here is the elections update. Again, my intent here is to provide an update on the newly elected board members. Thank you so much for all your service, Megan. This is your last meeting. And Megan, Greg, and Matt, congratulations again. Sorry, Megan Ramey's not here, but Matt and Greg, congratulations again for being reelected. And I still have not received the word on the write-in appointment. So once I have received that, I will let you all know. And what that means is that we may only have 6 board members for the next board meeting, which just means we're just gonna be a little closer on quorum. So if anybody is not able to attend the meeting, please let me know so we can make sure we're acting appropriately. That is all of my updates and concludes my report.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. We're now on to an executive session. Do I need to read the whole verbiage here as well?
Yes, please.
All right, I love it. Agenda item number 9, executive session. We now move into executive session for ORS 192.6602 I and 192.6608 to review and evaluate the performance of an officer, employee, or staff member if this person does not request an open meeting. The reason for executive session may not be used to do a general evaluation of an agency goal, objective, or operation, or any directive to personnel concerning those subjects, and to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. Do I need to read the A part?
No, you don't.
Okay. So do I need a motion to go into executive session then?
No, we do not need a
No?
motion, to just.
Okay. So we'll just stop recording and go into exec.
Correct.
You need to ask anybody to leave?
Jeff and Tia and Tim.
Could I get a motion to move into executive session?
Move to executive session.
Thank
A
you, Matt.
second. I'll
Thank you,
second.
Megan. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. We're in executive session. Can stop recording.
Last time. Is it,
Out of exec.
move to executive session.
Great, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Megan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Chair votes aye. We are out of executive session. All right. Thank you, Amy, for that. Does the board have any other additional discussion items that they would like to talk about? Okay, hearing none. On to item number 11, upcoming events. We get Juneteenth holiday. So limited service over the weekend, starting tomorrow.
Yep, Friday it will be regular service. It's just tomorrow that's limited.
Okay. And then the July 4th holiday, limited weekend service as well. All
And
right.
we will be in the parade, so hopefully we'll see you guys there. And if anybody wants to walk in the parade with me, that would be great.
Do I get a purple hat if I do it?
Yes.
All right.
And a
good.
purple tutu if you'd like.
I'm not in. I'm I'm out.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. We're to the end of our agenda, and I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you,
Second.
Matt. Thank you, Megan. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, team. Appreciate all the work on this. Amy, great job running the meeting.
Thank you. Appreciate
You too,
it.
Greg.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Right. That was.